Hello and welcome back to Microbial Concepts. Today we are going to discuss about plant tissue culture. Okay, this is a very good topic for your MSc thesis or dissertation or even for a project. Okay, if you are working in another institute, okay, so you can work on this topic and it is very good. Okay, there are many applications or many points on which you can work on. Okay, and nowadays many experiments are been going on plant tissue culture to have a very good application for agriculture. Okay, or by the point of view of agriculture, plant tissue culture is being used and widely studied. Okay, so this is a basic video in which we will be covering what it is, what are the applications, what are the methods. Okay, and a basic protocol we will be following. Okay, so for this video I had referred very good two articles. Okay, and I will be giving those references at the end. Okay, so you can, if you want more information, you can go on Google and you can search those good articles. Actually both are the chapters from some books and I got those on internet, right? So very good to refer, right? So let's start. So first we will see what is plant tissue culture. Okay, in short it is also known as PTC, which stands for plant tissue culture. Okay, so plant tissue culture is defined as culturing plants, seeds, organs or explants, tissues or cells on a chemically defined synthetic nutrient media under sterile and controlled conditions. Okay, so you culture some tissues, some cells, or some parts or seeds of plants on a synthetic media in lab. Okay, so the basic idea here is you use synthetic media which has all the nutrients which are very essential for the growth of plant. Okay, so you are regenerating a new plant by using either seeds or organs or explants, tissues or cell. Okay, we will see what are explants, but just remember that any part of a plant can be used in plant tissue culture to regenerate a whole new plant from that. Okay, and here main thing is you are not using soil, you are using synthetic nutrient medium, right? Okay, so here is history related to plant tissue culture. So very first, Hebeland in 1902, he had this basic principle of regeneration of plants via tissue culture is based on principle of totipotency. Okay, so totipotency is the um, ability of a cell of plant, single cell of plant that can be use or that can be very important for regenerating a whole new plant. Okay, like stem cells in animals, we have here some totipotent cells of plants that we are using for regeneration of a new plant. Okay, so then after this many attempts were done and one of some of those are listed here. So attempt to culture excised plants. Excised is you cut off a plant part including root. Okay, and then you culture those. So included root cultures were done by White in 1934 and shoot tip and axillary bud culture for micropropagation. Okay, this was also done. Then subsequently regenerating whole plants via somatic embryogenesis from cultured callus tissue of carrot was done in 1958 and 59, as well as regeneration of a whole plant starting from a single cell of tobacco was done in 1965. Okay, so these were accomplished, and around the same time Miller et al. In 1955, they reported the appropriate relative ratio of auxin to cytokinin in the nutrient medium that can induce plant regeneration in culture. Okay, so what are auxins and cytokinins? These are the plant growth hormones, okay, or plant growth promoters, right? So if you induce these in your nutrient medium, synthetic nutrient medium, they induce fast regeneration. Okay, if some of the pgprs they are known for induction of roots, some of them are known for induction of shoots. Okay, so if you want a good if you want to save some time, you can use these growth hormones which are known for induction of shoots or induction of roots. Okay, they help a lot, right? So in 1962, Murashige Skoog, they developed a mineral nutrient formulation based on their analysis of tobacco leaf composition. Okay, so MS medium is one of the best medium which is nowadays is also used widely. Okay, so MS stands for Murashige Skoog, and yes, you will also find this in any catalog of nutrient synthetic nutrient mediums. Okay, if you are working, then you will first find MS medium. Okay, there are other mediums nowadays modified and used by other scientists, but the base is MS medium. Okay, which helped in sustained growth and division of tobacco cells and tissue. Okay, so MS medium is one of which is nowadays widely used, right? So in many research papers you will find modifications of MS, or you will find some other medias also. Okay, and that is okay, it's not a rule that you just have to go with MS medium. Okay, so many scientists have now worked on that for media optimization, and they had come up with new medias also. So in general, the goal of crop improvement via tissue culture could be achieved by initiation and establishment of cultures. Okay, so for doing this, it is obvious that you first need to start establishing your cultures in lab, correct? Then you perform some specific modifications with those samples or saplings in your lab, and which could include clonal propagation or virus elimination, selection of good variants, then genetic transformation, and so forth. Okay, so after initiation and establishment of your cultures in lab, you can go for any of these experiments, and then you can generate a plant with a desired modifications. Okay, so a lot of work is going on for this, for regeneration of plants with desired modifications. Okay, yeah, so now there are actually two main points in PTC. Okay, so it actually depends on totipotency and plasticity. Okay, because you are doing everything in lab, plasticity is also very important. Okay, so we had now studied that what is totipotency. It is the ability to regenerate the whole new plant starting from a single cell, and plasticity is it is the ability of plant to alter their metabolism, growth, and development to best suit their environment, right? The environment outside the lab is different and inside lab is different, right? So even plants have to adapt, they have to alter their metabolism, their growth, their development to suit their environment. Okay, so that is also important because you are not growing plants in soil, you are growing them on synthetic nutrient medium under different environmental conditions. Okay, so totipotency and plasticity are very important, right? Then there are three main methods which are generally used in tissue culture. So first is micropropagation through the enhanced multiplication of axillary bud, that is the growing bud. Okay, and second is organogenesis, third is somatic embryogenesis. We will see these in further slides. Okay, just remember that these are some methods which are widely used for tissue culture. Okay, so there are now types of plant tissue culture. Okay, so types here, it means that the explant or the cell or the tissue which you are using for plant tissue culture. Okay, so you can use pollens, you can use seeds, you can use meristem, you can go with protoplast culture, with organ culture, or callus culture, cell culture, or embryo culture. Okay, so these are some 8 types of plant tissue culture. Okay, now we will see those one by one. Before moving to that, what is callus? Okay, so you will come across this term, and it is very important to have at least a callus growing in your tube. Okay, if you have a contamination, then your plant tissue culture is failed. Okay, so at least you must see a callus growth, and if you find a callus growth, then it is good enough, because after callus formation you will see some leaves growing on. Actually, after callus formation the dedifferentiation starts. Okay, so it is a soft tissue that forms over a wounded or cut plant surface and leading to healing. Okay, so now you are cutting some plants, parts of plants, and you are inoculating that. So what happens? From that cut part of a plant surface, a soft tissue like growth comes out. Okay, and that is because, or that helps the piece of plant to heal. Okay, so that is why a callus is formed first. A callus arises from cells of cambium, and when callus forms, some of its cells they organize into growing points, some of which will in turn give rise to roots, while some of them will produce stem or leaves. Okay, stem or leaves. Okay, so that's why I said, if you find callus growing, then it is okay, it is very good, because okay, because after some time it will start organizing its cells to give rise to stem, root, or leaves. Okay, but if there is a lot of bacterial or fungal contamination, then even if you have a callus, it is prone to get infected and it will die. Okay, so please, I will say, if you're working with plant tissue cultures, then you please maintain sterile conditions. Okay, and the procedure, the protocol which you will follow, please follow it strictly, because in plant tissue culture, as we are using synthetic nutrient media, bacterial and fungal contaminations is the most important problem. And many of the students or researchers which work on plant tissue culture, they find that problem very important and very difficult to handle also, if your lab is not uh, say fumigated, or not, you are not following some aseptic conditions. Okay, then it becomes very difficult to manage the bacterial and fungal contaminations. Okay, so before starting to plant tissue culture, please first do fumigation in your lab. Okay, do cleaning properly, do disinfection properly. Okay, and then start plant tissue culture. Okay, yeah, so now I had told you about callus. Then the next we are going to study is the types of tissue culture. Okay, so callus culture is, it is defined as production and maintenance of an unorganized mass of proliferative cells from isolated plant cell, tissue, or organ by growing them on artificial nutrient media in glass vials under controlled aseptic condition. Okay, so you have a callus culture. Second is organ culture. So that may also, that may allow differentiation and preservation of an architect plant architecture. Okay, the organ culture refers to the in vitro culture and maintenance of an excised organ, primordial or whole or plant of an organ, part of an organ in way or function. Okay, so for example, for organ culture you can use leaf or a flower also. Okay, then third is single cell culture. So single cell culture is a method of growing isolated single cells aseptically on nutrient media under controlled condition. Okay, so here you are going to use single cell. Okay, and then you are going to culture that. Then next is suspension culture. So suspension culture is a type of culture in which single cell or small aggregates of cell multiplying while suspended in the agitated liquid medium. Okay, so this is, uh, you can compare it with bacterial culture in a liquid medium. Okay, just the difference here is, here you will use plant cells. Okay, not bacterial cells. You are going to work in a liquid medium where all these plant cells or small aggregates of multiplying plant cells are suspended in liquid medium. Okay, then suspension cultures are used in induction of somatic embryos and shoots, and production of secondary metabolites, in vitro mutagenesis, selection of nutrients, and genetic transformation studies. Okay, so these cultures are further used for induction of somatic embryos, then shoots for production of secondary metabolites, and etc. Then next is embryo culture. So embryo culture may be defined as aseptic isolation of embryo. Okay, we are isolating embryo of the plant, right, and of different developmental stages, and from the bulk of maternal tissue of mature seed or capsule, and in vitro culture under aseptic and controlled physical conditions in glass vials containing nutrient semi-solid or liquid medium to grow directly into plantlet. Okay, so you are going to isolate the embryo, and by using some bulk maternal tissues you are going to culture that. Okay, and after doing inoculation and isolation, sorry, after doing inoculation and incubation, you will find a plantlet growing directly through that embryo. Okay, next is anther culture. Okay, so what is that? So here you are going to use some anthers, right? So andriogenesis is the in vitro development of haploid plants originating from potent pollen grains through a series of cell division and differentiation. Okay, so here you are going to use some pollen grains, right? Then next is pollen culture. Pollen culture is the in vitro technique by which the pollen grains, preferably at the microscope stage, right, they are squeezed from the intact anther and then cultured on nutrient medium where the microspores without producing any male gametes. Okay, so you are going to culture these pollen grains on nutrient medium. Then next is somatic embryogenesis. Okay, so first, what are somatic cells? Okay, so any cells from a living organisms other than reproductive cells are known as somatic cells, right? So next is what is somatic embryo. So it is a, we can say somatic embryogenesis as it is a artificial process in which a plant or embryo is derived from a single somatic cell. Okay, other than reproductive cells, we are using the other cells from the plant, and we are generating or we are inducing the embryo from that, and that we are using. Okay, so somatic embryogenesis is the process of single or group of cells initiating the development pathway that leads to reproducible generation and non-zygotic embryo capable of germinating to form complete plants. Okay, so this is somatic embryogenesis. Why this is important? Because somatic embryos are formed from plant cells that are not normally involved in the development of embryos, correct? Generally, reproductive cells are involved in embryogenesis. Here, we are not using reproductive cells. We are going with somatic cells. Okay. Then next is protoplast culture. So what is protoplast? Protoplast or protoplasm of a living plant or bacterial cell whose cell wall has been removed. Okay, so it is the culture of isolated protoplast, which are naked plant cells surrounded by plasma membrane, which is potentially capable of cell wall generation, cell division, growth, and plant regeneration on suitable media under aseptic conditions. The next is shoot tip and meristem culture. Okay, widely you will see this being used for micropropagations, right? The tips of shoots can be cultured in vitro, producing clumps of shoots from either axillary or adventitious buds, and this method can be used for clonal propagation. Okay, the next is explant. So there are variety of forms of seed plants. Okay, that is trees, herbs, grasses, which exhibit the basic morphological unit, that is root, stem, and leaves. Okay, so parenchyma is the most versatile of all types of tissues, and they are capable of division and growth. Okay, so that is why small piece of stem which has some growing buds, axillary buds, that can be used as explant, or a piece of leaf. Okay, or even young tendrils. Okay, so some plants, they produce some tendrils, so even that can be used as a explant culture. Okay, so these are some examples of explants which are widely used because they have those growing cells, okay, widely growing cells, they have that ability of de-differentiation, correct? So that is why explant cultures are nowadays widely used. Okay, there are various types of explants that you can be working on. Okay, so this is a schematic representation where you will find various types of plant tissue culture. Okay, you can use these for making a flow diagram, okay, or flow chart for your answers. Okay, so here you can see first surface sterilized seeds are used, and from that aseptic seedlings are grown, and these seedlings are now used as explants. For making explants, you can excise parts of these seedlings and use as explants, and then you can use those for inoculation in plant tissue culture synthetic media, okay, right, like Murashige scoop media. Okay, so now you these pieces, they will start growing, and first you will find callus growth, which can further differentiate into shoots. Okay, you will find shoot regeneration, and from that a whole plantlet can be obtained. Okay, another path is of somatic embryogenesis by using callus culture. Okay, so you may go for cell suspension culture, and you can scale up that for large scale cultures to isolate secondary metabolites or some chemicals. Okay, then using that somatic embryo, you can regenerate the plantlets as well. Okay, even those shoot which are regenerated from the callus can be used to that can be inoculated directly into the medium to develop roots. Okay, and from that a new plantlet can be obtained. Okay, even you will see in vitro seed pods are obtained. Okay, and that can be again used for regenerating plantlets. Okay, in vitro flowering is also done. Okay, so this is a very good schematic representation, and you can use these for writing your answers as well. Okay, so these are my references: plant tissue culture for biotechnology and general techniques for plant tissue cultures. Okay, both are the chapters of from some book that I don't know actually, but authors, I all the credits are of these authors. Okay, so very good chapters or articles we can say to refer. Okay, if you want some more information, you can Google out these chapters on Google, and then you can read and you can write your answers. Okay, I hope these will help you to score more for your answers, right? So I guess I'm done here, right? So thank you for watching this video, and please like my videos, share these videos with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, and even recommend them to subscribe to my channel. Okay, till then, bye bye. And yes, don't forget to watch the second part where we will be discussing the basic protocol and what are all requirements, what are the environmental aspects. Okay, all that will be covered in part 2. Thank you.